Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Hannah, for those of you who didn't know that. So today it's called So I'm wearing my Jason Momoa blankie. There you have the word. So today I thought I would talk about some BookTube tips for, at least this is my experience. So obviously it won't work for everyone. But I want to talk about reading slumps because I'm getting in those quite often, actually. And I will say that us people are different, so some of these tips might not work. And I mean, some just kind of write it out, I almost said. Just wait for it to get over until you crave to read something again. And I mean, that is great for some. And obviously, if you kind of just don't feel like reading and just want to ride out the reading slump, that is something you can do. However, I am a person who wants to read and basically don't, so that's my biggest problem. So I would like to give a few tips to people who are like me, that are kind of, they want to read, but they are in a kind of slump. I don't call it, for me, I don't basically call it a reading slump what I'm in, even though it is, so it's definitely self-denial. But I am hoping to finish things, so for me, if I have a certain amount of books that I am going to read in a month, I feel it really helpful to as you see these, I have tabbed it up a section that I can read each day that are not too many pages. And basically, when I am kind of in that slump, I need short sections so that I feel that I can get through them. And basically that makes it kind of easier to finish a book, because I only read that section and then I let the book down. So I don't read too much, because if I read too much, I just thinking, nope. At least if they are long. I mean, this is the Goblet of Fire. When I upload this, I might have finished it or have a section left. That is what I'm hoping for, at least. Because I need to finish this before September is done, because next month I am reading the next one. What is that one called? Order of the Phoenix. And that one is even longer, and then I have just sectioned it out so I have 30 pages each day, because the first time I'm reading them, I just want to take it all kind of in, because it's just a lot of information for a person who hasn't read them before. But yeah. A few other tips I will say if you are in a reading slump. Kind of just write out what do you want to read. That is something I do, like what do I want to read, and I read that. However, sometimes maybe not go for like a really kind of maybe not go for the biggest fantasy books, because fantasies usually have a lot of information and a whole new world that you need to get to know. And that can sometimes at least pull me into an even bigger reading slump. Because when I need to get to know a new world, it takes some time, and then I just don't feel like reading. So as you may see, I have started this. I don't even know if you can see. I have started this. But then I were like almost in a reading slump, and this one just got a little too much. And then I put it down. I loved it, but it was just a little too much for me to handle when I were almost in a reading slump. So when I am in a reading slump, I'm trying not to pick up fantasies because they just pull me even further down. So I will say that maybe you should pick up maybe something quick to read. Graphic novels are, at least if you enjoy reading them, I really enjoy reading graphic novels. They are really quickly, you get through the books very quickly, and that is something I really enjoy. And I feel like once you have finished a book, you get like new motivation to pick up something new. If you don't like graphic novels, I think I would recommend a contemporary, because they are usually set, or usually they are set in our world, maybe a place that you are kind of familiar with. A lot of contemporaries are set in like a UK setting or like a USA setting, and that really helps get through when you are kind of familiar with the places. And then you don't need to set yourself into a new world. You can just enjoy it. They are usually quick reads, and usually they don't have way too much information that you need to take in. Or I can also recommend, if you are from another country, as I am from Norway. I speak Norwegian. Even though I read books in English, when I am in a reading slump, it doesn't always like hit me that I should pick up an English book, because then I need to think in a whole different kind of language, and that sometimes are just too hard or are too difficult. So I usually have a few Norwegian books that I can pick up that they are usually like written from Norwegian authors. This one is from Maja Lunde, and basically I like stories that are written originally in Norwegian, because they usually have like the language that are supposed to be spoken. I like Maja Lunde, Jon Esbø, and people like that, and I feel like that is a good option when I am so far into a reading slump that English books that just puts me into a reading slump. So obviously this is a good option if you are from a different country. And even though you might want to read mostly English books, I would really recommend, if you are so far in a reading slump, to pick up something in your own language, because those usually go faster to read, because I have been speaking Norwegian for, yeah, at least hearing for 22 years. I mean, I have maybe spoken it for like 20 years. So obviously I read really quickly in Norwegian, and that makes everything just much easier if I can finish a book and just be over it. Because I think that once you read a book, for example, for me, when I read a book in Norwegian, I feel new motivation. And then maybe I pick up like a English contemporary that make things really easier for me to continue on, because they are easy to read. And then if I read graphic novels, maybe I've read a few of those already. But then when I'm out of the reading slump, I can pick up a fantasy book, which I have a lot of. However, when I'm in a slump, I don't read them. So yeah, I think that is kind of the advice I would come to right now. I mean, I obviously, when I'm thinking about it, might have some other advice, but I don't remember them, so... But yeah, that was it for this video. And if you want to follow me on any of my social media, all the links are down in the description. And I will see you next time. Bye!